Are there any other women out there who don't want pretty privilege? Because I know that I don't. There has always existed this idea in society that all women aspire to be is beautiful. These days, due to social media, women are constantly barraged with unattainable beauty standards, that the only thing a woman should care about is how good looking she is. And one of the worst things that a woman could be is average looking or ugly. But to be honest, I don't give a f. I like being ugly. There was a trend a while back on TikTok where women bragged about pretty privilege.
Love being pretty.
Can you imagine being ugly?
No.
The bad genre. It's a genre.
Now, I'm not going to play every single video, but I'm sure you get the general idea. Woman is pretty. Pretty woman lives in society. Society deems beauty worthy of special treatment. Pretty woman gets special treatment. All for being beautiful. And then the whole world goes crazy. A year ago, a YouTuber by the name of Ostefco made a video about how she didn't have pretty privilege and how, in her words, it sucked. She told one story about how she dressed up for her birthday dinner and she went out to a nice restaurant. Now, at the restaurant, she walks past a group of men sitting at a table, and none of the men turned their heads to check her out. However, later that same night, one of her really attractive female friends arrived at the restaurant, and all the men at that table craned their necks to check her out. And this YouTuber talked about how hurt she was by the realization that she would never get that treatment from men. Now, that video got almost 1 million views and damn near 20,000 comments, the vast majority of which, of course, came from women. Like most things on social media, insecure people tend to make the most noise. A lot of women are insecure about the way they look, and a lot of women do want validation from men for their appearance and will work hard to make themselves presentable enough to get that validation. Now, let's get one thing straight. A lot of women do care about the way they look. No, I am not insulting you. I am merely pointing that fact out. You don't post yourself on Instagram with filters because you don't care. You also don't wear makeup because you don't care. Nor do you follow hair and fashion trends because you don't care. Posting a well-shot image on social media alone is a sign that you want to be valued for how you look. So don't be in the comment section saying that you don't. This is Cosmic Nebula. We live in reality here. This is the abyss, the dark side of your mind. If you are bothered by that statement, then that means that you have a problem with you. So fix it. Don't take it out on me. Back to the video. This video here is for all the women who just don't care. Raise your hand if being average or ugly has never bothered you. Raise your hand if you have spent your entire life confused why you're supposed to care excessively about the way you look. If you ask me, pretty privilege is more of a burden than being an average or ugly looking woman ever could be. I don't want to be the center of attention, and I don't want to constantly be hit on by men. I find it quite bothersome, and I'm not jealous or envious of the validation attractive women get from men. And I never have been. It makes me uncomfortable to be the object of some random man's sexual fantasy. I don't want to be treated better than other people just because I look a certain way. And I can't stand that shit. I don't think people should treat other people better or worse based on how they look physically. Why can't we just treat everybody with respect? I prefer to judge people on the content of their character first. People always say that it is human nature to give attractive people special attention, and I've always disagreed with that. I like being invisible to the world. I like being able to go outside and live my life without constantly being in the spotlight and constantly being bothered by men. And I couldn't imagine a life where I was treated like public property simply because I won the genetic lottery. I don't want to deal with having to constantly engage with other people who only talk to me because they like the way that I look. Nobody ever talks about all the harassment and fake kindness beautiful women deal with just for being beautiful. They spend half their day engaged in conversation with people who feel entitled to their time and attention because they look good. That seems like a fucking nightmare to me. Being ugly is peaceful. And I wouldn't feel comfortable with strangers giving me gifts or special favors or special treatment all because they liked my appearance. I don't want to be valued for that. I just don't. I want to be valued for my character, for my integrity. I want to be valued for the way that I think. And to be honest, I tend to lose respect for people who value looks and physical appearance above all else. Nobody chooses to be beautiful. It's a fluke, but you can choose to be a good person. People love to complain about this shallow and looks-driven world, but then these same people participate in upholding those values. How does that make sense? I feel like as a woman, you can never say these things without being accused of trying to be not like the other girls. Nobody ever believes you because female-dominated spaces often seem to view any dissension as a personal attack against all women. And like I said, insecure people tend to make the most noise. So when a woman stands up and says she legitimately doesn't feel insecure about something that bothers a large number of other women, she is always attacked for trying to be different than other women. Now, that's not my intention at all. I'm not more mature or enlightened than anybody else. I simply don't care, and I resent the idea that all women do. And I hate to be painted with the same brush simply because I have XX chromosomes. And it's always bothered me that people think the worst way that you can insult a woman is by calling her ugly. Go ahead. That word will never hurt my feelings, and I would imagine that it doesn't hurt a lot of women's feelings. People think that we are supposed to drop to the ground and weep because we didn't pass the beautiful enough test. Now, it's one thing for men to judge women constantly based on the way that we look. But I've never understood why women do it. Women will lament about hating beauty standards that society places on women, and then at the same time, they will work to uphold them and then judge other women and men according to them. Everybody acts like they can't choose to just opt out. Society is not some sentient living being deep in the forest, controlling your life. Society is me, society is we. Society is people, 50% of which are women. We can literally just stop caring. And I wonder, what would the world look like if 50% of the world stopped placing importance on the way we look? Would people still be insecure about their physical appearance? And we forget that beauty is fleeting. Beauty is finite. Beautiful women and girls are treated well for 15 to 20 years of their lives. However, beauty inevitably fades. And when it does, that treatment is suddenly taken away forever. They are discarded, and they have to rebuild their sense of self because so much of it hinged on the way they look. Why would I want to base my self-esteem and self-worth on something that has an expiration date?